Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. So today I'm going to go ahead and give you my honest opinion on the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer. I don't normally do these sort of videos where I kind of react to things, and it's not really a reaction video, it's just basically my opinions. But since the trailer dropped, I've actually had a lot of people contacting me and asking me if I would make a reaction video of some kind. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you my opinions, and I didn't want to make it right away. You know, most people that release their videos on this kind of release the videos like the day of, whereas I feel like it's best that I would just wait and kind of let it soak in, whereas if I just immediately put up my opinions on it, I kind of feel like my opinion might be clouded or, you know, just altered a little bit by excitement, whereas I have now had some time to kind of think about it and just give my real honest opinions. And overall, I will say I am very excited about this, and what was really good about this was, like, coming into it, we knew so little about the movie, including, you know, not really having any idea what the plot would be, and it's been a little while since we had something like that going on. Like with most of the last few Jurassic films, we kind of knew where we were leading from the last film before that, whereas this time, again, it's a totally clean slate, so we were kind of clueless as to what was going to happen. And again, they immediately started the trailer off kind of tugging at your heartstrings with the Tyrannosaurus skeleton and the "When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth" banner and everything, so they instantly kind of go for the nostalgia, which I can approve of course, if you're going to have something that's new, but also kind of taking inspiration from the original, which is basically what they've been saying this entire time that this movie was going to be, then I think that's a great way to start. And again, I've heard a couple people already comment on this, and many people kind of continuing to spread the rumor that that skeleton would be Rexy. I don't really believe that. I don't, you know, it could be. I'm not saying it's not, because at this point, Rexy would definitely, in my opinion, have passed unless she is really being taken care of somewhere, because she'd be pretty old at this point. But I guess when it comes to genetically modified dinosaurs, who really knows how long they could live? But once they start to kind of like dive into the trailer a little bit more and show the adventure side of things, it gets pretty interesting, and I will say it does look really cool as far as being like an adventure-style dinosaur film, and the reveal of the Titanosaur I felt like was really cool, and I like the way they did that, where, you know, the first dinosaur they really show as far as like a living dinosaur in the trailer is a giant sauropod, because it's kind of been like a trend when it comes to a lot of the Jurassic films and stuff to kind of show off that sauropod early on, to really show you the beauty but incredible visual of dinosaurs. And I feel like one of the best ways to really show you how incredible those creatures were would be with a sauropod, because they're one of the absolute most incredible marvels that have ever existed on this planet. But I think the overall design for the Titanosaur is actually really cool. A lot of people have been, you know, kind of, I don't know if I would say trashing it, but not really liking it that much, but I think it looks really neat, and considering all of these dinosaurs, again, are genetically modified, they don't have to look exactly like we might think they would look as far as like fossil record and everything goes, so the design is unique enough that it will stand out as far as being that Jurassic World design, but also looks, you know, kind of cool overall. And as I think Clayton mentioned it, again, with the species of Titanosaurus, it's kind of funny how it has that sort of like sail going down along the back, similar to the, you know, Toho Titanosaurus. I don't know if that was in fact a nod to that, but if so, that's actually really cool. And I've also heard people mention the fact that the island that we are on now, which I guess is technically like Site C or something, is an island where the dinosaurs that were too dangerous for the park went, but why would the Titanosaur be there? But if you happen to take notice to that super whip-like tail, I can imagine that dinosaur being pretty dangerous to actually have in a park somewhere. You know, it would definitely be a potential hazard to pretty much everything around it. But at the same time, I can't imagine that this entire island is strictly filled with only dinosaurs that were dangerous to the park and everything. Like, I'm sure there's all sorts of stuff on this island that isn't specifically left there for that reason. But I also felt like as we moved through the trailer, they did a good job of kind of combining the serious nature of the movie, as well as the fun adventure aspect, and kind of a little bit of humor here and there when it comes to some of the dialogue. I actually quite enjoyed the humorous parts, and, it's little things like that that many times will kind of grab the attention of younger audiences, and even certain adults, and just kind of give them a little chuckle to kind of help complete the overall enjoyment of the movie. So I'm definitely okay with the kind of humorous banter. The only thing I will say is that I was kind of more looking for a horror sort of tone for the movie, because they've kind of been hyping it up as, returning to dinosaurs being scary and stuff like that. That's just the way that I thought that this movie was going to be presented, but it honestly doesn't seem like it's presented too far off from your standard adventure style Jurassic movie. Now, there's nothing wrong with adventure style Jurassic movies. I love those. I actually am a big fan of all of the Jurassic World films, including Dominion. Not a huge fan of it, but I do quite like it, and most people hate it. But I would say when it comes to one of the best pieces of Jurassic media we have had in years, maybe even since the Lost World Jurassic Park, the Battle at Big Rock short film was so good, and it was so good because it had such a strong horror vibe. It really made dinosaurs feel scary again for that brief period of time. Like, that Allosaurus was absolutely terrifying when it was tearing the RV apart and everything, and I was really hoping for that sort of feel for this movie. They almost got it in Fallen Kingdom, but I don't think they quite achieved it the way that, I would like. So I was really hoping to see more of that in this movie. But as we move through the trailer, there definitely seems to be some stuff kind of hinting that we will have that sort of feeling in the movie, but I don't know if it'll be quite Battle at Big Rock-ish. But like when you start to see, the different mutants and stuff, like the two-headed raptor, which I think is actually really cool, you start to kind of get the feeling that the movie's going to be a little bit creepy and a little bit scary, which is exactly what I'm hoping for. So that does give me hope, at least, that we are going to have that scary side of the movie. Another thing I'm not a huge fan of, though, is the way that they've changed the entire appearance of the Quetzalcoatlus when it comes to the way the crest and everything works, and now having more of a crest on its beak and stuff. Like, I was kind of hoping this was a different pterosaur. I don't know what species exactly they would have created here, but I definitely think it's kind of weird how they do this all the time, where they switch up the designs drastically, and for some reason kind of refuse to go back to older designs. Obviously, some dinosaurs continue to have the same look, like Rexy and stuff, but like, why do we not get more male tyrannosaurs in the movie? And like, we just get a new color variant for like each of the different tyrannosaurs in the later series of Camp Cretaceous, or now again a different color version in this movie. Like, how cool would it be to be able to see the male green Rex return, or even the Spinosaurus again return with the Jurassic Park 3 look, which, as we know, obviously there is a Spinosaurus, actually quite a few in this movie, but we have now a different, more updated look for it, which I think is actually really cool. Again, another thing that not everybody's really a big fan of. I think it's neat, but I would have liked to have seen the JP3 Spino maybe in there with them. Like, I'm kind of hoping that at some point in the movie, we see all of these other really cool Spinosaurs, but maybe the JP3 style version is there as well, because like, I don't feel like there's ever a need to constantly change the way the dinosaurs look. And yes, I get that they're trying to kind of incorporate more accurate aspects into some dinosaurs, like they tried with the Pyroraptor, even though it wasn't quite an accurate Pyroraptor, but like adding feathers to dinosaurs and stuff, and now obviously updating the Spinosaurus. But I would have just loved to have seen the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus make an appearance again. It's just something I've always been big on, really fond of. So I'm kind of sad that it's not that sort of look and they've updated it, but it is what it is. I mean, I kind of get it. It seems like every time they completely redo the designs of these dinosaurs, it's like when you have a movie and you love that movie, and then they create a sequel and they recast one of the main characters. That's just kind of the way it feels to me. Like, obviously it doesn't have to be the Tyrannosaurus from Jurassic Park in every movie, but it should kind of look similar to that. And although it does in a way, like, I actually really like the color scheme of the new Rex, but I personally would have really loved to have seen the male Rex come back and have an appearance in this movie. I've kind of lost track of where I was going with all that, so my apologies for that. But I would have really just preferred they continued on with the Quetzalcoatlus design that we had seen in Dominion. That's basically where I was going with that, and then I kind of trailed off into the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus territory and everything, but I don't feel like there was really a need to kind of change the appearance to it. It looks cool, I'll give them that, but it's just kind of confusing then why it looks so different from the other Quetzalcoatlus we had just seen in Dominion. I also loved the throwback to the feet of the Velociraptor from Jurassic Park. Again, we see that going on in this movie in the trailer. So it looks like this raptor is going to have kind of like, or the raptors in this movie, not just one, will have more of like a, almost a JP3 female raptor sort of look with like light gray or white coloration. That's sort of what it looks like from the feet. But then we also kind of dove into something that I was honestly afraid of, and that is this mutant creature in this, which people seem to be calling the D-Rex, which I guess is some sort of a mutant dinosaur, maybe just a mutant T-Rex, I don't really know. Of course, we won't know until we see the movie, for sure, I think. But I was dreading this idea, and every time I had seen somebody kind of post something about this, saying that this was a leaked, image or leaked information or something along those lines, stating that we were going to have some sort of weird, like, I don't even remember how many arms it supposedly has, like 4 or 6 or something arm mutant dinosaur. I'm just thinking the whole time, please don't. I really don't want to see that actually happen in the movies. But, after actually seeing the trailer and again just kind of sitting on it for a few days, giving me some time to kind of process it, I feel like it is actually a lot cooler than I was giving it credit for initially. And I mean, there's only so many times you could just basically redo the same thing with a dinosaur attacking people. I'll always find it fun, but not everybody's going to, so they kind of have to upstage themselves and kind of up the game for the next release, and they've already gone through hybrids and stuff, and of course, all the different big baddies they could probably think of when it comes to different dinosaur species, though there are still tons more they could do, like, Acrocanthosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus and stuff, but I can understand why they would kind of go a different direction and dive into a potential mutant dinosaur, and when you're doing gene splicing and things like this, like, you never know what you might end up accidentally creating, so in a way, it makes total sense. They could have easily had this happen quite often, and I like that they kind of show this off a little bit earlier again with that two-headed raptor. I can understand why they would go this route, and I was dreading it up until I had seen it in the trailer, and again I rewatched the trailer quite a few times just to kind of get a feel for it, and I feel like that's where it's going to get really scary for the movie, which I approve of, but I can't say I'm still 100% sold. Of course, I'm going to have to wait until I see it in the actual theater to really get a feel for if this mutant dinosaur thing is a good idea. Again, I was dreading it up until I saw the trailer, but now that I saw the trailer and again had some time to think about it, I feel like it was probably a good idea to go that route just to switch it up and make it a little bit different. I just hope that it turns out good in the movie. Outside of that, though, I think everything looks really well shot. The scenes are beautiful overall. The acting seems pretty good, pretty high quality, which of course is something that's really important. I adore the fact that we are going to have the Tyrannosaur river raft scene in this movie. That's definitely something that I am so hyped to see. I also love seeing the Dilophosaurus back again, especially because that species was ignored for so long. So to see it now in 2 movies in a row is definitely exciting. Hopefully it has a fairly decent scene in this one. Kind of looks like it doesn't, like the Dilophosaurus just kind of pops up, and I've seen people mentioning on Facebook that in the background of the Dilophosaurus scene, it looks like possibly the T-Rex is laying back there behind that person that's standing there. So it looks like maybe the T-Rex is like basically either hiding or sleeping or something right behind them. I don't know for sure if that's the case, but once the person on Facebook pointed that out and I really started to kind of look at the background there, I kind of see what they're talking about. So maybe, but I just really hope that the Dilophosaurus does have a decent role in that scene. And of course, the new Spinosaurus design isn't really the greatest, but I think it looks pretty cool. It does look almost more like if I would have seen Spinosaurus in the movie 65, because it has that kind of gritty sort of look and design. But at the same time, I've seen a lot of people saying, well, it just looks like a Baryonyx from the Jurassic franchise that they threw a sale on. And when you think about the fact that Baryonyx and Spinosaurus are related, they should kind of look similar, I would think, but you know, the short neck, which is hard to tell from the trailer for sure if it really does have a short neck, or if it's just like the positioning of it in that scene. If it is in fact a short neck, it'll definitely take away from the overall look and feel of the Spinosaurus. I think the look of the neck looks a lot better on the actual toy version from Mattel, so hopefully that's more reminiscent to what the Spinosaurus will look like once it actually isn't kind of like turning its head and snapping its jaws and stuff. But I think it looks like it could be pretty fun. Again, as I already stated, I'm definitely going to keep my fingers crossed that we do see the JP3 Spino in there as well, but I really, really doubt that's going to happen. I also love the Mosasaurus in the movie. I think it actually looks even cooler than it did in the Jurassic World franchise. You know, the first 3 Jurassic World films, it definitely looks a lot cooler in my opinion in the new Rebirth movie, and also I really quite like the colors of it now. But overall, I think the movie looks really promising. I feel like it honestly already looks better than most of the Jurassic World movies, and is definitely going to be an exciting time for us Jurassic fans. And with the reveals of the Jurassic World toys, it's never been a better time to be a fan of the Jurassic World toy line, because those toys look incredible. So again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear what you guys think of the trailer. Definitely let me know in the comments section. I apologize if this video was all over the place. I don't normally do this kind of thing for trailers and movies and stuff. Maybe I'll do more of it in the future if you guys like it, but again, I'm definitely hyped for the movie. I think it looks promising. A few minor things, but for the most part, it looks really, really cool. So again, let me know what you guys think, and of course, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.